Welcome, my beautiful souls, to another edition of the Soul Surgery Oracle readings, my beautiful souls. So, we take a look at the energetic state, our conscious state, if you want to call it that. We use the Kemetic gods as an archetype of faculties within ourselves that are either activated or depleted or need activated, replenishing, invoking. And that's the concept, my beautiful souls, of where we bring in the Kemetic deities. And this will fall under what's going on, what is our current purpose, which means which deity is actually active in our life or in control of our life. So which deity or which intelligence or which faculty within ourselves is currently ruling this week, my beautiful souls. And then we're going to draw some tarot cards to further break down what is the actual state of that particular energy. So you can see we've got a god already sitting right in front of us today, my beautiful souls. So this is Quebsanoth. So he's come up before. Quebsanoth, it says, is the fire spirit. This we're going to get a little bit confusing. Let's not look at this as actually the fire spirit or the fire element, right? It's more the fire spirit in this sense, but the element that it would associate with would actually be earth in my coding of the ancient Kemetic spiritual science, my beautiful souls. This would also link to the West, but in this essence, this is looking at the West being where we would normally on the right hand side, right? So this would be the West and this would be the East. So this is almost like a mirroring the astrological dynamic of the horizon, the ascendant, being the point where the sun rises, and that would be like sunrise, and then the 10th house being then would be noon, and then obviously the 7th house, which would be here the west, would be seen as Tem, which is basically the 7th house. So, and then obviously 12 o'clock at midnight would be the 4th house or the IC, my beautiful souls. So this is showing you that the cardinal points are energetical points and they are a system within yourself. So Haru had 4 sons. Haru was the god whom, or you could say, okay, in myth, he is the child of Auset. Auset was dismembered, right, by his uncle, by his brother, and his parts were scattered and then put back together by Auset and Het Haru, which is the moon and Venus energy, my beautiful souls. And then they gave birth Immaculate Conception, just like the stories, or where the stories of Jesus or Yeshua came from, gave birth to Haru, right, the falcon-headed god, which is basically the victory of the will, the ability for us to rise above our lower animalistic, emotionally imprinted programming, my beautiful souls. So that's it in a snapshot, right? So Haru on the Tree of Life sits at number 6. The number 6 on the Tree of Life is seen as the seat of the will, the human's will. Not the all intelligence, the supreme intelligence, but the human's will, the individual individualization of the consciousness, which we know as the will. So the will is something that can be either weak or strong, and alongside the will is energy, right, or life force, power to manifest the intention of the will. So that now can also be either weak or strengthened, my beautiful soul. So this is where we get the concept of will and power, not willpower. Someone doesn't lack willpower, they have maybe a weak will that needs to be strengthened through the process of menab, which is denying your emotional impulses and desires, right, so that you can make a conscious choice and your decisions are made not from emotional programming, right? And then the power of your life force can also be replenished, like I said, through certain breath work, certain processes of yoga, yogic postures, sorry. So this is the asanas and the pranayama, or Kemetic yoga, my beautiful souls, singing, dancing, and also sex or regenerative sex as opposed to reproductive sex, my beautiful souls. So all of these energies, like, you could see like the will has to arouse and caress the life force, or the life force will not listen to it. Hence why a lot of people have habits which they can't break, because the life force energy might be weakened, or the will might be weakened, or both, right? So they're not communicating, but the voice inside of you, which is your fears, your unconscious, your programming, that now, that serpent inside of you knows how to maneuver past the consciousness on the unconscious level and then hit the life force energy. So the life force energy will now manifest your fear. So that's just a little backstory. So you could say that the four sons of Haru are the four cardinal signs, are the four elements, right? Life force maneuvers or has different temperaments or different states to it. This is what chemistry teaches you, my beautiful souls. You know, if you change the temperature or something, you change its state. So this is what gave birth to the four elements or the four sons of Haru. And Haru, the will, is seen as the coordinator, the ability to coordinate one's system to be a reflection of both the physical realm and the spiritual realm, or your consciousness. It bridges to, he wears the double crown, right? The Pashant, which represents the upper Egypt, lower Egypt, the underworld, the physical world, mind, matter, male, female. It's a union, right? So this essence is bringing in the essence of Quebsonos. So Quebsonos is normally associated with the liver, the gallbladder, I think it is, and the kidneys. So all of these processes are about purification. So you can see, this is why I would say fire spirit, right? As opposed to just the element of fire. But it's really, once you understand that all things are manifested within the earth plane, and the earth itself is the container of the life force, right? So when you look on this energy being the West or the seventh house, the energy in astrology where your energy is being depleted because you are now allowing space for others. The seventh house is ruled by relationships, right? Associated to Libra, justice, balance, harmony, right? Which can link back to Ma'at, truth, law, and all of that goodness, my beautiful souls. And it also is associated to Venus's energy, right? And the ability to calm, to soothe. If something's too hot, it can calm it. If something is too cold, it can warm it, right? So that's the energy of Venus. And she's obviously the arouser of the life force energy. And through visualization and imagination, she's able to manipulate or crystallize the life force into the archetypes that she wants to manifest, right? The attraction of love, or being able to see beauty based on the principle of you being able to shape your environment. So this energy of purification, my beautiful souls, right? You can see the life force normally sits or curled up in your stomach area, right? Your digestive processes take a lot of power in order to process, and what it's doing is releasing the life force back into the blood, the nutrients back into the blood, and getting rid of the waste, hence the liver, the kidneys, and the gallbladder, my beautiful souls. So again, that energy is also cover Venus and Virgo, because I think Virgo is associated to the liver. So there is definitely right now a purification of our life force, what we're eating, what we're doing, what we're consuming, my beautiful souls, because all of those organs are organs which are about the release and the purifying whatever we have consumed, my beautiful souls. So that is the purpose going forward. Let's see what state we're in. Okay, let's put Quebsonos back here. Let's get the Hierophant. Okay, you can see Tahuti here. Tahuti is seen as the supreme intelligence, right? The guide intelligence, the wisdom, your intuition, right? And you can see he's holding the Was symbol, or the US symbol, scepter, right? Which is denoting of control over the life force. You can see it's got a depiction of this animal, which is also associated to, you could say, Anubis or Sibek, number 8 on the Tree of Life, or Mercury energy, the way we think and communicate, being guided by our intuition, my beautiful souls. The intuition has the ability, you can see the cobras on top of the head, right? Has the ability to, the rise cobra is the Uraeus. You see him with the sun disc, because it shows you that you have the ability to raise your life force energy from the base until its higher states. So to unlock deeper aspects of your consciousness. And you can see here we've got the god Tekmit, that could be Tefnut or Sekhmet, right, which is bringing the lionel power. Also the transformative fire, my beautiful souls. So the Hierophant is saying that there's something to do with, I think, on one level, our ability to peat our energy, to create, The things that we are creating is, or the ability to create or to manifest, to bring forth the dreams, there's something about the state of our life force, right? And the ability for us to gain guidance, right? To gain insight or knowing, or to be able to solve some of the problems or the challenges that we're in right now is also going to require, right, the life force energy to be strengthened. And like I mentioned earlier, the way we strengthen that is, again, meditation, breath work, yogic postures, start singing, good music, food, sleep, right? Everything needs to be balanced and in a cycle, my beautiful soul. So the life force does need to be aroused, but the life force will also need to be channeled and directed. But we need to know what the enemy of the life force is: lies and deceit, deception. Yes, those are aspects, but I'm talking about the things you consume, the food you're consuming, and especially in this day and age, there's so much toxins, right, in what we consume, in the air and the food, the soil, right? So it would always be good for us to adopt some form of cleansing or purifying process into our routines on a weekly basis. And some people do fasting, intermittent fasting, change of diet completely, or they go on a water diet or a fruit diet, whatever it is, my beautiful souls. That is, I think, what's being called forward this week in order to be able to tap into the Tahuti. Also, the Hierophant is always about seeking help from those who are wise in your community. So don't be afraid to seek out tried and tested spiritual or healing individuals within your community. And I don't mean your doctors or your psychologists. I'm talking about people that are more into spiritual cultivation, natural healing, energetic healing, resonance healing, all of that kind of stuff, my beautiful souls. There's something about that is more effective, like working on the pranic life force, right, as a means to heal the internal organs, is totally, I suppose, esoteric, as opposed to the Western world of healing individuals is by identifying, is attacking the symptoms. But where the esoteric way or the Eastern way was going to look for the roots, and they're going to look on it on an energetic level and heal the energies if possible, right? And which will heal the internal organs, my beautiful souls. So this is also looking at that energetic life force healing, chi. Life force is chi, right? Kundalini, all of that kind of dynamics, my beautiful souls. So we also have the Four of Pentacles, right? So the Four of Pentacles is it says here, the Lord at the bottom of earthly power, my beautiful souls. This is the Sun in Capricorn, right? So it's asking us again for discipline, right? Discipline in regards to how we wield our life force, right? And there's the earth energies doubled up again. This is why I said to you that this fire is really about earth energy, stabilizing, purification, calming, bringing togetherness, right? So some of y'all might actually be holding on to negativity, trauma, right? Trauma that has been afflicted upon you because you opened your heart and you've invited people in. Because again, this earth energy or the seventh house energy, that point in astrology, will open you up to enemies. It will open up to you to partners, business and relationship partners. It is 180 degrees away from the ascendant, the self. So it's saying that your energy is being pulled to its furthest extent over here, right, to the west, my beautiful soul. So there will be some form of impact upon your life force, whether it's stimulated, overstimulated, understimulated, depleted, whatever, right? So this energy of Capricorn is very fugal. As some people say, it's the miser energy, the Four of Pentacles. Some people, I just see it as a fugal energy. It's a discernment. It's Capricornish. So Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, right? And Saturn requires that we add structure, my beautiful souls. We add structure into, what's the word? Into our plans. We move conscientiously, like we plan and then we execute, right? It's that tried and tested. Not that Taurus is slow wins the race. This is about building a stability that, or an empire or a routine that is so beneficial to you, or it's so crystallizing, it's manifesting, right? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't build a home on a swamp, right? Or on quicksand. You need to have firm footing, and that's what the life force is saying. The life force needs to be in its densest form, needs to still be in harmony or operating on a, I would like to say, clean level without any impediments, or not intoxicated through how we think, or the foods we consume, or the people that we associate with who have a negative vibration that's now leaking into our system because we are now eating incorrectly and are not sleeping correctly. So our energy, or our barrier, or our pranic defense mechanism, which, like this circle, so you see the circle, this square would be you, right? The physical form in this circle would be like your pranic force, your life force around you, the energetic, electromagnetic, or etheric, whatever you want to call it, life force around you that could protect against these energies coming into you from external forces. But again, if this energy here, as you can see, the dead represents stability. This is the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, and the crown chakra being activated. So as we're born in our root chakras and our sacral and our solar plexus. So that's the more animal reactive aspect of ourselves. So moving into the higher realm of our being by controlling the life force, getting into a healthy routine, stabilizing, grounding it, right? Redirecting it with purpose, action, planning, all of these good things there. This helps, my beautiful souls. This is what I think the Capricorn is loaning us, that energy this week through the Four of Pentacles. Now let's see what's actually going on inside the realm of life right now from an astrological point of view. See, there you go. There's Saturn right there. So I was talking about Saturn because it's the ruler of Capricorn, my beautiful souls, right? Now, astrologically, he's asking for structure. Saturn is in Pisces, about to go to, I think it is into Aries on February, I think around the 22nd of February, or the 20th or the 21st of February is going to be moving into Aries, right? So we're bringing a lot of structure to our enterprising spirit. A lot of dreams can be born, a lot of empires can be built, right? A lot of controlled risks, breaking out of the comfort zone could be activated, but so could a lot of conflict, my beautiful souls. So Saturn's coming here to bring that structure, right? For us, or the sense of, in Pisces right now, it's been drying up the moisture, the emotionality, my beautiful souls. You know, it's been this ability to connect with people and have empathy is cool, but that energy sometimes can prevent you standing in your own individual, in your own individuality. So stop you from pursuing whom you are, or what you are, what your purpose is, my beautiful souls. So Saturn has come in Pisces for the last 2 years to be able to create boundaries and barriers, right? So you can be of service. Pisces is a house of service, right? Sign of service. But on the same level as we need to know how much to give and how much not to give. So whatever you're trying to create, just think structure, discipline, boundaries, consistency, right, is very important moving forward. And we're going to have Saturn conjuncting, what do you call that one, Neptune, right? So again, you're going to have your belief systems being tested, my beautiful souls. There's a breaking away, or an opportunity to break away from old paradigms, old habits, old belief systems, right? So belief systems is what shapes culture, old cultural systems, old stereotypes of male, female, gender roles, my beautiful souls. All of these dynamics, right, is going to be tested. There's going to be a battle between the old versus the new. This is where the split in humanity will commence, my beautiful souls. Those who want to pursue life in one way, and those who want or require more freedom or more spiritual connection to the universe and everything, and those who are going to pursue this more self-focused, old conservative form of spirituality, which would be back to the old archaic bloodlusting religious days of the Crusaders and I don't know, the Arab wars as well, because that was also a thing. So, structure, my beautiful souls. And alongside structure, I told you we've got Jupiter. So, whatever you're trying to achieve right now, right, you won't be able to receive those riches unless there is some form of structure, some sort of footing, some form of foundation that has the ability to grow, right, and expand. So we can't expand nothing from nothing, in a sense, right? We have to have the essence of something. And for us as human beings, that essence would be the structure, right? So we need that in order for us to receive the abundance. Jupiter right now is in Cancer, and he gonna be there until next year, I think May, right? So in Cancer, again, issues of home, legacy, right? The household you was brought up in. Did you have routines at home when you grew up, right? What kind of routines have or habits have you picked up from your household, which you still live by, right? My beautiful souls, positive and negative. Because if this positive, this is an opportunity to expand in that dynamics, right? So there might be some jewels within the way that you was up, where you was brought up. Or there might be some knowledge, spiritual knowledge or herbal knowledge or skill set that you've inherited from your ancestry, which is sleeping and dormant. This Jupiter energy will allow you to become aware of that, for you to develop that energy within yourself from the comforts of home, and from a Saturnian dynamic of being able to structure this. And then Saturn is very karmic as well. So this is something karmic. This structure that's required of you is a very karmic structure. And then we've got Sagittarius. So we can see Sagittarius here, my beautiful souls, right? Which Jupiter rules. This is now telling me that this is a time for us to explore the world, and the inner world as well as the outer world. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Sagittarius comes in as the 9th house, my beautiful souls. The 9th house is a house where you look into yourself and you expand. How it shows you how you expand whom you are. So where we look at structures as a means to confine, we have to look on the building blocks of the universe, right, which allow us to have this experience of life, because those building blocks there is a cycle, there is a pattern, right, there is a rhythm, and we can be in tune to that rhythm. That's what our structure should look like. It should be a routine or a way of life, right, that enables us to be in sync with the natural rhythms of the universe and the earth. This is why the life force is coming up through the essence of the earth. Because once we're able to do that, we manifest together. The earth is already coordinated or linked with the universe. It follows its blueprint. We as humans, because of our conscious will, right, we have overridden through our emotionalities, our emotional programming, the natural embedded subconsciousness within us, which would have guided us or kept us in sync with the universe, my beautiful souls. Jeez, this is so deep. Deep. So yeah, foreign issues as well, traveling, the self-studies, studies on spirituality, all of these factors are going to be amplifying or amplified right now for you, my beautiful souls. So let's go to the last card, Kafir. There we go. Let's just put these here to the back. And let's bring Kafir to the front, my beautiful souls. So, Kafir, believe it or not, is what they would call a earthy dosha. So again, we're talking about the earthly element, right? Or they have different doshas, like there's a fiery dosha and blah, blah, blah. So again, this one is the earth. I'm going to give you a quick snippet from the book, from the negative reversed aspect, because we're looking at action. So we're looking at action we should take. So assuming that some of us are not fully balanced and we need a little guidance, this is what the earth dosha, which represents grounding, nurturing, and is heavy. This is what it's saying right now for some of y'all. Has the earth energy left you feeling heavy? It's time to shake out of your Kafir rut. You may have gotten too comfortable where you are. your home, your career, your relationships, your life goals. Try something out of the box. So this would be the emotional programming, my beautiful souls. You feeling, or you just, what's the word? You continuing with a certain routine which you have, which again is not healthy, but it might pay the bills, it might handle the family, right? But is it really connecting you back to the universe? Are you satisfying purpose? Are your dreams met? Right? Because that is the responsibility, or the negative side of the earth energy, right? Which will chain you in this incarnation, or this whole death, life, rebirth dynamic, come back to the earth, chained by your own karmic deeds, your actions, your omission of actions, your mission to become the greatness that you are, to fulfill the dreams, or to balance out the negative actions that you had in the past. It's just a cycle, right? So this is why it's beautiful to have Sagittarius here. You see the archer, right, reaching, right, for Orion's belt. Bam, showing us the levels that we have the ability to master, right? We master the beast, right, by activating the human, the creative force, consciousness, will, right? And man being the energy, the densification of energy. So the flesh, my beautiful souls. So see bigger dreams for yourself. Let go of habits that are no longer serving you. You see, such as emotional eating, or looking back into the past. I told you about the life force energy, my beautiful souls, right? When we look at the seventh house, it also shows you where the sun sets. So with the sun setting, it's almost giving you the ability to bring things to an end, right? No longer do I need to continue playing this game or being in this illusion, right? No longer do I need to have to entertain this shadow, this false side of myself. I can descend. The seventh house is almost, you're descending into the underworld now, right? The underworld is not hell. The underworld is the metaphysical realm, the astral realm, the ancestral realm, right? The realm of spirit, source, energies, right? Fifth dimension, or any other dimension after that, if you want to call it that. So you have the ability to go into a deeper dynamic of yourself and shine a light, my beautiful souls. Replace refined carbs, sugar and dairy with bitter vegetables, tart fruit and rich spices. I told you at the beginning, the kidneys, right? Acid alkaline, the liver, right? Be aware of what we're consuming, right? We do have an energy, negative energy, which acts as toxins within the life force, or squeeze the life force, right? Or puts blockages within the physical form, and so the life force can't flow. And in those parts of the body where there's blocks, this is where we suffer disease and sickness, right? So we know that the energy is requiring cleansing and purification. It's time to shed old skin and re-emerge as the highest self and fullest expression. So I'm gonna read you the positive now. You are grounded into the earth's energy and carry its subtle calmness, which makes others naturally gravitate towards you. You bring peace, understanding, and comfort to your community, and are a shoulder everyone can lean on. You see the positiveness of the earth, a place of stability, a place of communion, a place of manifestation, right? You embody earth's wisdom, and you are anchored in her vast life force. See what I'm saying? There is the life force there, my beautiful souls, right there. Do you understand? In the form of Quebsanoth, right? The energy, the earth energy being the vessel for life force energy. So on the densest form, it's the tangible things we can see. But on the subtlest form, it's those things beyond subatomic particles, my beautiful souls. Jeez, right. You embodied the earth's wisdom and are anchored in her vast life force. You have created a life, or you are envisioning one that will bring you great contentment and stability. This is that's what you want. A home, a true home surrounded by people you love. You do not need to search for more. The deepest peace you will find is where you are. Jeez, just remember never to become attached to anything, as all is temporary. And this is what's happened. We've become attached to the comfortability of survival. right? Which has our life force depleted, overworked, stressed, do you get me, antagonized, sick, and is causing sickness within us, my beautiful souls. Also causing us to neglect our purpose and our dream. Also causing us to not realize our divinity or our ability to walk as gods and goddesses on this earth, which just means that we have the ability, like Haru, to harness and manipulate life force energies. There's one and the same. Imagine that. That's what we are. We are the heroes. We are the magicians, right? We have the ability to use words of power, which are vibration. Everything is made up of atoms in this universe. So therefore, atoms vibrate. The observer of subatomic particles will influence the movement of the particles. This is what science is showing us now. So this is showing us the psychosomatic dynamic that we, or power that we have. We are not separate from source, God, earth, animals, plants. It's all one organism. If anything, we are an extension of that organism. We are the aspect of the organisms of the universe that's able to experience all of these things, all connected and interconnected, and consciously be you or me. Jeez, kaboom. It's a bit heavy one. That was a heavy one today, my beautiful souls. Let me know if it resonates and how it resonates and what part resonated. How are you working on the life force energy? It just almost feels as if the life force has been poisoned, the Ra energy that we have, right? And if you know the story of Ra, then it had to be healed. And I've showed you all the different things that has poisoned the life force energy. And it's just living in everyday society. Unfortunately, our everyday society is not conducive to healthy living, right? So some point or at some part or another, some aspect of your routine or your daily survival tactics, right? Something needs to change. We need to change the routine, the cycle, and add in some form of purification of mind, body, especially, and spirit, my beautiful soul. So spirit, like I said, is the stimulus of that. So that would be the singing, the dancing, regenerative, tantric sex, creativity, right? And then the physical would be what we consume, right? The foods that we're taking in, the liquids we're consuming. And then obviously on a mental, right, level, psychological level, that would be us paying attention to our thought patterns, right? And it's also strengthening the ability to not act on every impulse or whim that we feel that comes past us, right? And validate our emotional programming, which is at the root of your trauma or your sickness or your stagnancy, my beautiful soul, because the animal doesn't want to change, it's capped, right? All right, my beautiful souls, that's me this week. Catch me back again next week, my beautiful souls. Love, 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 love.